Hi, welcome to OWAD Today. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring Chinese expressions that translating contemporary technology. And today we are going to talk about 原子能. 原子能 is a Chinese translation of atomic energy. And this 能, well, I will unpack each one, but it's quite universal. Like you can pair it with all kinds of forms of energy. So in the next few days, we're going to focus on different energy forms that's relatable or highly relevant to our contemporary energy usage, or our reorientation or our own maturity about energy source, because not energies are created equal in the sense of it may harm our environment differently. So 原子能 is one kind that can be super beneficial because the conversion of the energy conversion rate is pretty high. So that's some high tech stuff. Okay, Chinese translate 原子. In a few days ago, we have 电子, that means electricity. So Chinese pair everything of that, of some character plus this 子, to give you the sense of it's a particle. It's something that's an element, that's microscopic, tiny thing that you may not be able to directly see. And we have 原子, 电子, 量子, quantum as well. Like all of that are a character plus this 子 symbol. So that almost like train Chinese to view whenever we see, like if there's a new forms of identified we can just use something plus structure, and that gave us a chance to guess, even if we have never seen this particular new form of element in nature before, that we were able to see that means something that's microscopic, even beyond microscopic, right? That we have 电子, we'll have 质子, 中子, so all kinds of like protons, I think. I don't know how neutrons or something like that, right? So Chinese have all that with the same structure. That gives us this structural predictive capacity. Like next time we can see it's the same structure, then we know it's the same kind of thing, or at least categorically, we can understand it in that sense, even if we may not know the detailed definition, but it already put in that category. So that helps a lot. Okay, 原子. So why Chinese use yuan plus 子, the structure, to mean atom? Because yuan means origin. Yuan means the smallest, like the beginning of things. And this beginning concept was created by water forming in the mountains. So, okay, in Chinese, we are expressing our 3D world, and sometimes it's 4D because plus time, right? It's 4D world in this 2D frame. So this 2D frame, right, basically it's a rectangle frame. And you can see I crop out each of the Chinese characters' original traditional way of rendering them in this 2D frame. And Chinese would have this habit of, it will have a high line on the top of the frame, that normally means the sky or the limit of a vision. And if I have a low ground there, that means it's the ground. So heaven, earth, basically, that's our domain. That's where we exist, between heaven and earth. So that's high ground, high, low, this boundary. And now, when we have high ground, we would express by one vertical line and kind of within that frame, right? With this top left corner, that's our high ground. And we can definitely express it in this way, right, as well, but it's just habitually, culturally, it's decided, somebody decided, it's always top left corner, never top right corner. So top left corner formation, this cornering thing, that means high ground, and we have low ground, which is bottom left. So again, it's on the left side. We never used bottom right like this. That's not a commonly used structure. Probably that's related how, like if it's easier to write that way, we didn't know. It's artificial, arbitrary. Somebody decided long time ago to express things this way. So it took me some time to figure out, okay, that this is it. So we see here is this high ground thing. That means it's somewhere high ground out there, most likely referring to mountain or some terrains that rise above high from your observer's point of view. In comparison to you, your position, your altitude, that this is a high ground to you. And then on that high ground, we have the source of water formation. So this kind of this looking thing, oh, I cannot draw it out. You can see how difficult that is, right? It's almost like giving you this spreading. So it starts from this here, this top, the tip of this high ground, and it starts to flow out like that. And this vertical horizontal line means it's there is something in there, and that's water or source of life as well, right? It's something in there, and then it's going out. It gives you this action of outgoing. So water, as we drink it, now it comes in the form of tap water. But all waters in nature forms in this high ground place where things are cold, and then water gets filtered through the rocks, right? The terrains just naturally filtered that way. And so Chinese language creators use that water origin, extend it to origins of all things. It could start from one drip drop, tiny little bit, and then that's the origin, that's the beginning, and it can grow into big rivers or eventually into oceans, right? So that's the observation using water transferred to all kinds of creations or things starting small and then growing in scale. Okay, 子 I translated sun, and originally, yes, that means the babies of human form. So human babies have big head, one torso, and then have the pick me up arm gesture. Legs are not emphasized in there because babies, they cannot use their legs yet, but they can definitely express themselves with two arms. So that's the human baby form. And we use that 子 to mean something because it's a human baby form, right? So that means it's small in relative to grown adults. So we use that to mean it's a small things, but it's a separate unit. It's no longer you, it's something you reproduced, right? And it's not in its full form yet. So it's a small you, basically, small entity of things. And eventually we use that to pair all kinds of, even microscopic level of things. In this case, it's an atomic level. It's not, it's beyond, it's smaller than microscopic. Okay, so origin, sun, is a Chinese atom. And I guess in translating this atom concept into Chinese, somebody already regard that as the smallest cuttable size of elements or building blocks of our physical world. And atom is the smallest, inseparable entity. But I eventually we find even smaller entities than atom, right? So that gives you the limitation of the language creation, because science developed gradually. We don't have full picture. I mean, we still don't have the full picture, even 2024, right? And we know that we only know limited chunk of universe. But at some point, when people translate this concept of atom, and it was regarded as the origin, the smallest element, and that shows the limit of understanding things back then. But back then, atom was the smallest indivisible entity of things. Okay, 能 was made of two parts. I mean, even if I look at the screen, it look at it's 5 different separable parts, but really the bottom 4 are one thing, which is bear. The top is a net. You can visually tell it's a net, right? And Chinese just use 2 next to each other to give you the structure. Like that's the pattern. You can fill out the blank for the rest of the space. And that's the simplicity and kind of, yeah, efficiency about Chinese. Don't draw out the whole thing. Just 2 is enough to show you that's a pattern. It's a continuation of the same pattern. So that's the net. And the bear in the net simply means harnessed muscle power. Bear in ancient times, I guess, is the most muscular animal, I guess, encountered in human society. That bear was regarded the most muscular symbol. It doesn't have much speed, but this definitely it can blow you, like hit you far away, something like that, right? So these are the 4 legs of the bear, and this you can view it almost like super oversized bicep of the bear. So that's the muscle power. That's the symbol for muscle power. And then this is the head, the twist shape of the head of the bear. So that's one version. I haven't found out more about it yet. I know my limit, because normally Chinese would have one concept of things like animals. Like we have dogs, we have ox, we have sheep. It's all connected into one big piece. But this bear broken down into 4 pieces, like that doesn't follow the same language creation rule of using one connected piece to abstract one type of animal. That's different from this general principle. So from that, I have this big question mark of that, because some scholars said this is the bear symbol, and this is how it looked in ancient times. It's made up of these 4 separate pieces, kind of close enough to know, okay, this is a cluster of symbols together. But still, I like it because it doesn't follow the same rule. I have this big question mark. Okay, so bear, nested, harnessed, or usable muscle power. So that's energy. And bear symbolize the biggest invisible muscle power in ancient times. And that symbol, because in ancient times of humans' way of using energy was still limited, right? No energy, no combustion engine, none of that. So ancient times, the energy form came in muscle power. The animal, like carbon-based energy. Well, I couldn't say that. That's not right, because fire is carbon-based energy as well. Okay, so it's muscle, it's animal, it's a bio energy. And then it's nested, means this energy form is harnessed, that we can use it. We have an energy free flowing in nature all the time, but if we cannot use it, it's of no use to us, right? So that cannot be regarded as energy. From the application or utility perspective of humans, so it's something we can use and harness, then it can be regarded as energy. Okay, so 原子能 simply is atomic energy, and because Oppenheimer was such a big deal in 2023, so I can simply prop something like that. But this is somebody else's, I guess it's a documentary of telling Oppenheimer's story from another perspective. They claim they are the real story. But here we go, we have atomic energy, and it's an energy, but in a bomb form, and used to end all the wars. All that, when we know it's a super powerful type of energy, that's how Chinese translate into 原子能. All right, catching to the concept, thinking about one more day.